Hello, my name is Andrea, and today I'm going to talk to you about the astrology of July. But first, if you're new here, I want to give you a little overview of the astrology of 2025 to better understand what's happening in July. So, why astrology of 2025 is so important is because it's actually preparing us for the astrology of 2026, specifically for February of 2026, when Saturn and Neptune are meeting at 0 degrees of Aries. So why is this so important? Because 0 degrees of Aries is the most important, the most potent degree of the zodiac. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and 0 degrees is the degree where everything gets manifested. Everything is created from that degree. So Saturn represents our material reality. It represents our limitations. It represents structure. It represents integrity, also our discipline, and also how we commit to actually build and create in this 3D reality. And Neptune represents our divine reality. It represents the dream world, the divine world, the soul world, the mystical part of our existence. So when these two are coming together, they come together every now and then, and they have these conjunctions when they start a new cycle. But now they're coming together at this most potent degree, and it's really a chance to birth a whole new reality. It's actually like this new reality is starting to get born from that moment on. And this hasn't happened, like they meet every now and then, but the fact that they're meeting here, this hasn't happened in thousands and thousands of years. And not only are they meeting there, but they're also supported by two other outer planets, Pluto and Uranus. And all these four planets are forming a little triangle, and they're all forming harmonious aspects between each other. And they're kind of like pushing us into this new era, into this new world, into this new reality. So, the fact that they're meeting there is big. What's also very big about 2025 is that all these outer planets are changing signs. So Pluto changed sign from Capricorn to Aquarius at the end of 2024. Then at the beginning of year, Saturn changed the sign. It moved from Pisces to Aries, Neptune also. And in July, Uranus is moving from Taurus to Gemini. And also in June, Jupiter moved from Gemini to Cancer. So outer planets are creating our outer world, they're creating our culture, and there are these forces they represent the forces that are creating our transformation, that are pushing us into our transformation. There are forces that we cannot control, but that we are kind of controlled by, in a way, and that are pushing us to move into transformation, to move through the transformation. Each planet in its own way, in its own energy. So when Saturn and Neptune are meeting here, they're also supported by Pluto and Uranus. Pluto is at the beginning of Aquarius, and Uranus is at the beginning of Gemini. So Pluto moved into Aquarius, and when Pluto changes signs, Pluto gives a lot of energy into this archetype. So Aquarius represents, technological development. It represents the network. It represents the interconnectedness. It represents power to the people. It represents the power of the individual, but the power of the individual within the society. It also represents the horizontal structure as opposed to what we got used to, which is the hierarchy. So what we've been seeing for quite some time now is the deconstruction of the outer structures, especially as Pluto was moving through Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about the institutions and the authorities. And especially since 2020, we've been seeing the crumbling of the outer structures. And now with Pluto in Aquarius, we have this chance of creating a new society which is built on different rules that don't only serve the selected few, but that are serving all of us. And it's also about empowering the individual so that each one of us can shine with our own gifts in a new way and in a way that contributes to the collective. So it's not about us, it's about what we bring to the collective. And with Pluto giving extra energy in that area in the Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about, being very unusual and eccentric and standing out, not fitting into the box, thinking outside of the box, acting outside of the box, living outside of the box. So all these boxes are just getting shattered, and we are learning how to bring our gifts in a whole new way. So with Pluto then aspecting both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and Aries is all about our individuality, it's about our sense of self. It's about who we are and who we thought we were. And with Saturn and Neptune there, our old identities are falling apart, our limited version of who we think we are, and our idea that we are just this version of getting a job, working from 9 to 5, or doing life in this way. We are starting to see that less and less people are agreeing to this, and more people are starting to just open new questions about what is possible and who they are and what they want to be and who they want to be. So with Pluto aspecting this, it's also giving power to, and it's also kind of initiating transformation of our sense of self, so that our sense of self starts to become more of who we are. Because Saturn represents our limitations and our material reality, but now with Neptune being present, it's kind of like we just have more access of bringing more of our divinity into our reality, and realizing that our divinity is actually our true nature and who we really are, and operating from that place in this reality. And Pluto is kind of just giving more power to that, and giving more energy, and giving more force for everything that's not working, for everything that's rotten there, for everything that's rotten within our sense of self can fall apart, can fall off. So now that Uranus is going to move into Gemini in July, it's the final of these 4 planets that is forming this constellation, this structure of like a little triangle. And this triangle is really this arrow that's pushing us forward into our new reality, into new world. And so Uranus rules the Aquarius, by the way, and it represents the revolution, the innovation, the technology, the electricity. It brings shock, and it brings change, and it brings it like in a very sudden. It's very sudden change. And so Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 7 years. So we saw the digitalization of money. We saw more awareness about the environment and the environmental issues, and there was a lot of technological advancement about the land, the agriculture. We were talking more about the regenerative agriculture, new ways, actually, and the old ways that we can preserve the land, because Taurus rules the land, the resources, the body. And also one of the things that was very present in our culture, and we became more aware of it, is our nervous system and our body, and how actually we need to regulate our nervous system, how our nervous system is very crucial to how we operate in the world. And Uranus rules the nervous system. So our body just became, it's not that we didn't have nervous system before, but we just kind of became more aware of it. And this nervous system just became more electrified, and we were releasing a lot of trauma from it. And Uranus also rules trauma. So there was a lot of this releasing of the old, releasing of the trauma through the nervous system. And now that Uranus is going to move into Gemini, we're going to see this revolution and the expansion, in a way, of our mental body and our communication, because this is what Gemini is. It's our communication, it's our mental processes, it's how we talk, how we learn, how we exchange ideas. It also rules media. So it's gonna revolutionize this part of our reality, this part of our awareness. So there's already been a lot of talk, and a lot of like this started to enter the culture, the awareness of telepathy and other ways of just our gifts that we have, of other ways of communicating that are not what we have only been doing so far, which is, talking and writing, but our other gifts that have always also been there, but we were just, in our Western culture especially, we've been more shut down to that. That's going to start to awaken. And there's already a lot of research happening around that. People talk more and more about these phenomena. And now it's a phenomena, but pretty soon it will be like more of a normal thing. So different aspects of our own technology are going to open up. So both Aquarius and Pluto now giving power there, and both Gemini and Uranus now revolutionizing that part. They both rule technology. They both rule the mind and the higher mind. So we're just going to see this power and explosion of what our mind actually is, and what it is capable of, and how we are creating this reality with our mind. And then all that combined with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, it's what's informing this new identity that's being born through us. That's this new identity that we are giving birth to. And so this all has already been happening through this year. and it's going to continue happening. But now that Uranus is moving into Gemini, it was kind of like this missing piece of what is really coming next year and also in 2027, because they're going to be together and just like pushing us forward. So this summer we are getting a preview of this. And also, this is a very revolutionary energy. And Uranus rules revolution. Aquarius is all about revolution and innovation. And we are already seeing this as the old structures were falling apart, and they're still falling apart. We see just like how the collective is no longer putting up with the authority, it's no longer putting up with the old structures. So we are seeing a lot of actual revolution of people going out into the street and fighting against the system. But a lot of this revolution is also just happening internally. And a lot of this revolution is just happening with us just detaching piece by piece. Sometimes it's more dramatic, sometimes it's more subtle. We are detaching from these old systems, old ways of being, and especially with our mental body now. Because we are just becoming more aware of that, how much of what we thought was true, what we thought was reality, is actually just a thought pattern. And we are now getting back in touch with our own power of how we are in charge of creating these thoughts and how we are in charge of creating our reality then. And well, this is also nothing new, but it's just becoming more present in our awareness as a collective. And once we take that power back and bring it back to ourselves, then we can start to move away from this fear mentality that we are all very much programmed with, and we can start to open up this old paradigm. Like we can open up pockets and windows within this old paradigm of fear, and we can bring more light into into this web. So now until the 1st of September, we really have a preview of this energy, and we are feeling it more of like what this actually means. And what it means for us on a personal level is that we need to get really clear of, I'm sure we've all been going through a lot of purging and shedding through this whole year. These layers are just falling off, and because we are just realizing that a lot of these things, we really don't need them. We just pick them up somewhere along the way, and it's really not ours. And we are also just coming back to this true essence of who we are. And we no longer need to create our identity. With this 0 degrees of Aries, we have a chance to create this new identity, but it's not about creating it in a way that we used to create it. It's about creating it more in a way of allowing it to be created through us, because it's already there. It's our true essence, and it's just up to us to be present with ourselves as these layers are falling off. And it's not always a comfortable, well, it's probably never a comfortable process of shedding all layers of self. So we can just allow this this bigger version of ourselves to finally emerge and to be present. And also, with all this technological advancement and AI being very present now, we are also being faced to truly think more of what we want to create, or what we want this world to be. As these new technologies are allowing us to make our work more easier, to make our jobs easier, we are actually given this space, we are given this time that can be very uncomfortable, because now we need to look at all the things that we were maybe afraid of looking before. But this is a very necessary process, because we need to become more aware of this true inner calling, this true inner essence that's just waiting for us to listen to it, and it's waiting for us to be expressed. And this is actually the main energy of this whole year and the coming years. So it's just gonna progress more and more in that direction. The more we can step into that, the more we can acknowledge that, the more we can just be present with ourselves and what wants to be expressed, the more we can just ride this wave of these energies that are present and that are actually pushing us to do. Okay, so one more thing is that Jupiter moved into Cancer in June, and it's going to be there for another 12 months. So this is giving, which is, Jupiter is also an outer planet, and it also changed sign. So Jupiter is really in Cancer, is really our opportunity to come back to what truly matters to us, because Cancer is this sweetest, softest part of us. It's the mother archetype. It's what we really care for, what we want to nurture, what we want to take care of, where we want to put our intention, where we want to put our attention. And the more we can get clear on that, the easier then it is to drop all these false layers of ourselves, because we know what we are coming back to. We are coming back to this true essence, and we know what it is that we want to preserve in this world, what we want to fight for, what we want to just, like a mother that wants to protect a child. Like when we know what this beautiful little child is, then we can just pour our energy there, and then it's easier to drop the false parts of ourselves when we feel more secure on the inside. And this is what the Cancer, the crab, represents. It's like this really soft part that we have inside, but then it has shell, because we don't feel comfortable feeling vulnerable, so we create this shell to protect us. But this is our invitation to get really comfortable with this inner part, the soft part, and actually to build a strong center, so that we don't need this strong outer shell. We can be soft on the outside and have this strong cell on the inside. And this can be our guiding light. And then one more thing for July is that Mercury is going retrograde in Leo from 19th of July until 12th of August. And we started this year with Mars retrograde in Leo. And Leo is all about our expression, our creativity, and how we shine our light in the world. And then Mars is about our action. So we were like, questioning our action, how we want to take action with our creativity, what we want to create, how we want to create it, how we want to express, what do we want to do. And then now we have Mercury there going retrograde. So we're going to be kind of going through the same theme in a way, but from a different, from our mental body. We're going to be thinking about how we want to communicate. What do we want to express? What is authentic to us? Like, how can we shine? And, Leo is a sign that comes after Cancer. So once we feel very stable and secure within ourselves, then we can shine our light into the world and be creative. And so this is kind of an invitation to see, okay, what do I want to speak about? How do I want to communicate my true essence? What do I need to rethink? Was I presenting myself in a false way? I need to kind of go a few steps back and present actually my true essence and who I truly am. And I think that's pretty much it for this July update. I think that's already a lot of information, and I hope that this update serves you well and that it helps you navigate this, because these are quite intense energies that we are going through, and it can be stressful, it can be dramatic, it can also be subtle, it can be expansive, it can be all those things at once. And so, yeah, I just want to encourage you to go gently through all this, come back to yourself as much as possible, and just to have these moments where you come back to yourself, because this is actually the most important part, to just cultivate this inner essence, and also to cultivate our relationship to the divine, to spirit. So thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next month. Bye.